Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling match review. So, previously we looked at Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at the 2022 Royal Rumble event. However, I did mention, and it was kind of a given considering that it is Royal Rumble season, I mentioned that we'd be looking at Royal Rumble matches as well, like the actual Royal Rumble match. 30 men all vying for a shot at WrestleMania. In this match was no exception, and except in a lot of ways, it also did help shape up a lot of what would happen at WrestleMania 21, while also giving us a couple very memorable moments. One for all the wrong reasons. I'm, of course, talking about the 2005 Royal Rumble match. As always, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer and analyst, just a man who enjoys a good time, and I had a pretty good time for the most part with this match. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the match. So starting with what I liked, like I said, not only did it set up what would be the main event of that year's WrestleMania, that of course being WrestleMania 21, but it also set up a lot of WrestleMania 21 if you think about it. Now, granted, that's kind of what the Royal Rumble is supposed to do anyway. It's supposed to be the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, but this one shaped up the cards WrestleMania 21 in a few different ways. Not just as a moment that happened within the match, but it also when it came down to the final two. So one of the matches set up was Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels in all-time Mania classic. As when Shawn Michaels eliminated Kurt Angle, Kurt Angle came back in and pretty much went Perk Angle mode, pretty much snapping on Shawn Michaels, dumping him out, which has always been one of people's least favorite parts about the Rumble. It is like somebody gets unfairly eliminated. Like really, these eliminations shouldn't count because the person was already eliminated. But the rules state you gotta go over the top rope with both feet touching the floor. It doesn't say who has to throw you over, but Kurt Angle throws Shawn Michaels to the outside and then pretty much beats him up, decks him with the steel steps, and then causes him to be busted open. So this would pretty much lead into their match at WrestleMania 21. But then we get down to the final two, that being John Cena and Batista. John Cena from SmackDown, Batista from Raw, and that kind of brand distinction we will come back to. Yeah, so they were the final two. They both go out at about the same time. I'm from some angles, it looked like John Cena technically didn't hit the ground because his leg was resting on the back of Batista's head. But if you look at it, Cena's feet did hit the floor, at least even briefly. But then, and that begat, like I said, at a moment that's memorable for all the wrong reasons. So afterwards, the SmackDown and Raw referees are arguing over who is the true winner. The SmackDown referees raise John Cena's hand. The Raw referees raise Batista's hand. Then Vince McMahon shows up and he is very upset, to put it lightly. And he gets in the ring and tears both his quads. So I forget exactly when he tears the first quad. I think it's on his way down on the ramp, but then he tears his other quad once he gets in the ring. So Vince is just sitting there. They're still arguing. John Cena throws Batista over. Batista then throws Cena over, or actually it's the other way around. Batista throws Cena over first, and then Cena throws Batista over. Vince McMahon says the match restarted, and by the match he means just those two, not the other 28 participants. But then Batista wins the thing for real. So apparently this moment was not supposed to happen. Like I think Batista was supposed to win outright. A couple things though worth mentioning. For starters, I wonder what they would have did. When it came to the WWE Championship title picture, how would Cena have gotten back in? Would Cena have gotten back in? Because of course Cena would end up challenging JBL for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So how would they have gotten Cena back in? And I wonder. But also, I'm not really buying it because the thing is brand warfare is kind of there. Like the hints of brand warfare. This is when we are in the brand split. Only a few years in, and they reference like brand warfare and Raw versus SmackDown. So to have this moment happen, and pretty much what they're saying is that the rest is probably is pretty much improv. If this moment wasn't supposed to happen, with Batista and Cena both tumbling over at the same time, I'm and then the fact that it adds more to that Raw and SmackDown feel, which I know some people aren't the biggest fans of, but since it's here in the match, we might as well reference it. But with that adding fuel to the fire of that, and then Cena goes on to win the WWE Championship anyway. Like, these are the two guys who you're pegging to be in the World Championship picture for their respective brands when it comes Showtime. And like it worked out a little too well for it to not be planned, but apparently the narrative is it wasn't planned. Batista, I believe, was supposed to win outright. He does win anyway. Hey, so there's that. They at least keep that, but otherwise, yeah. So so it does begin at that moment. So Batista does go on to face Triple H at WrestleMania, even though Triple H and Ric Flair tries to stop him, which leads to Batista turning on Evolution and pretty much splitting up Evolution. At this point, Randy Orton is out. Evolution is still there, but they're hanging on by a thread. They're trying to string him along, trying to get Batista to challenge JBL, but Batista learns of the deception and then delivers that all-time classic moment where you think he's gonna sign the WWE contract. Like, he's giving the thumbs up to Ric Flair and Triple H just to do the thumbs down and then attack Ric Flair and Triple H. Just it's an absolutely classic moment there. And punctuated even more by Triple H and Ric Flair's like oh crap faces once Batista does the thumbs down. But yeah, so this sets up those three matches, if you will. Well, this Royal Rumble sets up those three matches, but there is some other cool moments as well, including the beginning when Daniel Puder comes in and pretty much gets annihilated by Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and then Hardcore Holly when he comes out. That's what you get for shooting on Kurt Angle, kid. Don't try to break your coworker's arms for real. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the moral here is don't try to break your coworker's arms for real. But Puder pretty much gets lit up by Guerrero, Benoit, and Hardcore Holly, which of course Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit start off the match. Of course, Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble the year before, and starting off against Eddie here, and they're on two different brands. Eddie's from SmackDown, Chris Benoit's from Raw. They do like a little SmackDown versus Raw moment where Edge, Rey Mysterio, Luther Reigns, and Booker T face off against Jericho, Benjamin, and I forget the other two who were in there, but they do like a little SmackDown versus Raw moment, and they kind of telegraph that they're going to do it because first Eric Bischoff comes out, he's the general manager of Raw at the time, and Teddy Long comes out, he's the GM of SmackDown, as well as one of, if not the best GMs of SmackDown of all time. Don't at me. So they have a little SmackDown versus Raw moment, and that gets totally thrown out the window once Muhammad Hassan comes in, and so Muhammad Hassan comes in. Poor Muhammad Hassan. He, I think, was definitely the circumstance of really poor timing and mixed with both heel heat and natural heat. Of course, first the rumor has it that Muhammad Hassan was supposed to win the WWE Championship, become the youngest WWE champion but sadly, a segment where he summoned masked men to attack The Undertaker aired the same day as the London bombings, and so that led to Muhammad Hassan being pretty much his push being stopped dead in the water, him being pulled off TV, and I think he got released not too long after. Or so, man, and really unfortunate. But he does get this moment here where he comes in, and the Raw guys and the SmackDown guys pretty much just annihilate him from there and throw him out. They didn't all have to dogpile and toss him out, but they did. So they toss him out then. And Muhammad Hassan then attacks Scotty 2 Hotty as Scotty is coming down to the ring, in which everybody complained about Curtis Axel never officially getting in the Royal Rumble. Well, I hear a lot of complaints saying Curtis Axel's technically still in the, I believe it was the 2015 Rumble where he got attacked before he could come in, but I don't hear you saying anything about Scotty 2 Hotty being screwed out of it. It's that moment, which moments like that also do annoy a lot of people where they're like, hey, they're not they don't actually get to go in, which is pretty unfair as well from a storyline standpoint. But otherwise, yeah. So some fun moments there. So the Rumble has some cool moments, some fun moments. Not a bad talent pool as well. If I did have to nitpick a little bit, it's something I didn't really like. Is that sometimes the talent pool feels a little too ruthless aggression, for my liking. If you catch my drift, with guys like Luther Reigns and Jonathan Coachman being in the match, which yeah, that was a thing. And so guys like that, which people aren't really the biggest fans of being in the match. We get at a moment between like Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. Their split. They were split because of the brand split. Would you believe that's not the last time they split a team, a beloved team at that, for the sake of the brand split. Just ask the New Day. But yeah, but otherwise, yeah, some of the entrants and some of like the talent pool for this match do feel a little bit too ruthless aggression, but otherwise a pretty fun Rumble on the whole, and it does set up nicely towards WrestleMania 21. Pretty much a glimpse of the future, not just for WrestleMania 21, but even the face of the company, especially when it comes to the last two. Of course, Batista and Cena. They have been getting some traction. Of course, Batista, like I mentioned, part of Evolution. John Cena at this point was Dr. Thugonomics, really starting to get over, or with the crowd, or not even starting to get over. He was over at the time with the crowd, but and not, but yeah, so a nice, interesting glimpse into the future when it comes to what's going to be happening at WrestleMania 21, encapsulated in this match. But yeah, otherwise a pretty fun match. But nevertheless, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video, so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the match and my review of the match. Did you like to like the match? Did you like my review of the match? Let me know. And of course, we're going to continue with our Royal Rumble reviews all month long. But thank you all so much for watching. And check out my social medias in the link tree below. I have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so go follow those. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.